What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the ZMAM Show. I am Mike, and I am so excited to be back here to talk The Last of Us with you all. I've debated really coming back to do many reviews because there's so many people out there doing reviews these days, but this is something that is true and dear to my heart. I played the original The Last of Us when it came out on PS3. I bought it again when it was remastered on PS4. And hell, I'm a little late in the game, but I'm probably going to buy it again on PS5 just because the story is that great. And plus, they've done a bunch of visual updates. But I'm not here to talk about the game. I'm here to talk about HBO's adaptation of The Last of Us. Guys, I cannot believe how well this is going. I mean, now I want to bring up a few things tonight while we talk about this. One is like how well they're doing it, but two, was it necessary? Okay, and we're going to talk about that too. And I'm definitely not here to down the show. This show is so far amazing. I'm going to get you straight out of the gate. This episode is definitely a 9 or above. It's hard for me to give a 10 to many things these days, just because it takes a whole lot. But guys, tonight's episode was so exciting and thrilling. And even though I know the backstory and everything else, I can see they're doing little small changes here and there. And the world that HBO and Neil Druckmann and all these people have brought together for us is so realistic. It just, everything looks wonderful. The landscapes, the torn down buildings and the old hotel, the museum, the shots that we remember from the game for those of who has played it. And when Ellie's like, that's some view, we see the gold top to the building that they're trying to get to towards the end of episode 2. Everything is just spot on, amazing. It looks terrific, and just for that alone, you almost have to come out and just watch the show. But for those of you who who did not play the game, I am so jealous. I wish I could be there to see your reactions and of everything that's going down tonight. Spoilers, okay? I mean, I'm just gonna get into them. So if you haven't watched it yet, go watch, enjoy yourselves, then come back out, maybe give my thing a little watch, maybe a like, and subscribe too if you enjoy. I got a lot of things going on my channel, mostly trivia, but I do reviews on the side, especially Walking Dead. So here we go. Tess getting bit. Okay, I knew this was coming. And that scene in there when they're in the museum and they're running around, and for a lot of us that have watched a lot of Walking Dead and certain shows like that, the way Tess was acting, it may have foreshadowed that for you. You may have thought, oh man, did she get bit? And for the life of me, I could not remember when exactly she got bit. It's just been that long since I played the game. But, the woman who is playing Tess, I think it's Anna Torv, I think her name is. She did a phenomenal job. They obviously expanded on Tess's character. They didn't really do a whole lot with her in the game. I mean, she was there. She was trying to lead Joel at one point, kind of like, Joel, we need to do this, her tenacity towards the goal, the mission, and it only increased, especially after Tess got bit, which we saw even more tonight. And just watching her go out, which I believe in the game, I don't believe, I actually know, the military was the one that was pursuing them into that government building or whatever that they got caught instead of the infected, but in this time they changed it up. And I got to see a little bit of the post comments and review by the director and some of the people in the production crew, and they were talking about how they had to change the way that the fungus was like kind of connected, all as one. So basically they were talking about, like, if you step on a set of the cordyceps vines or whatever in one place, that could actually signal the infected, a long distance away. And that's a really cool concept that they never really got into very much. I didn't play on much in the game at all, in fact, but I really, really like it. It's something new, it's something fresh, and it ups the stakes huge. I mean, now you got to watch even where you step. I was a little annoyed that they weren't wearing masks, because I remember in the beginning of the game, I think Joel came across a couple different fresh spore cells, and maybe they're going to show that eventually, I'm sure. But I remember when he stepped on it, and they just kind of just started going into the air everywhere like crazy. And of course, he had a mask on, and you can get infected by breathing in those spores. So I wish they would have shown that here in the beginning, but clearly, they have a lot of material to get through, and only so many episodes to do it. I think they're going to get through the entire first game in season 1, and I am so excited. I hope you can hear it in my voice. Even though I know most of the story, it's been years since I've played it. And like I said, I was about to buy it on PlayStation 5 because they redid the AI. I suppose they're smarter now. And then the visuals, of course, just seeing that on the next gen. So, but watching it play out here, I've been waiting for so long for this. Pedro Pascal is doing a really good job of Joel. I mean, Joel was he wasn't a man of many words, especially in the beginning, because he's just so reserved. He has a lot of anger behind those eyes of what happened to him with Sarah and everything. Girl, I'll talk about that in a moment, actually, too. And then Bella Ramsey, I will say it's taken me a little bit of time to get used to her. And it's only because I played the game. You know, if I wouldn't play the game, I'm sure I'd be maybe getting a little different reaction for her. But I'm so used to the Ellie. She was just so convincing in the game. It was just Ashley, forget her name. But anyways, the woman who played her, you can always look it up. She just did such a wonderful job. And in fact, I found out she's going to actually have a small cameo in this show. So in fact, I'll look her name up while I'm talking to you guys here right now. But it's just, like I say, guys, the show is just wonderful. They're doing such a great job. Ellie, I can tell that it's going to grow on me over time, because Bella Ramsey, it's that hard ass mentality. But it's when you finally start seeing her break loose and be more of a kid. You know, she's only 14, but she had to grow up in this really crappy world, no parents, in that federal school forever, being bitten, and now she's being thrown around like a piece of property from person to person. Nobody cares about her, and that's a lot to deal with. But when we actually finally get to see her being a little bit more of a kid and actually becoming emotional and breaking that barrier with Joel, that is where you're going to really see this story just come to pure life. I mean, it is honestly that story between Joel and Ellie. And by the end, for you all that haven't seen this, no spoilers there, you're in for one hell of a ride. And in fact, I just saw the scenes for the next episode where we're going to actually get backstory on Bill and Frank. Now, we got a chance to meet Bill and kind of Frank. I'll just leave it at that. In the game, but we got a piece of them, but we never got a lot of depth. But it looks like they're going to do a whole backstory episode, or at least a good portion of the episode will be. So let's get ready and get excited to see what that's all about. I'll definitely come back out here if I get some viewership on these episodes. I'll absolutely stay with it. I'm almost just doing this just for fun, just to kind of see where this goes and to see your guys' comments and if you're enjoying it just as much as I am. Last thing I was going to mention on that death with Sarah, when I played the game, it was around the time that I had become a father, to a Mason, my firstborn. And when I was playing the game, when I saw Sarah, and after because the way they filmed it, or excuse me, they did it in the game, and with the way the shots fell off, they're on more of like a kind of a hillish ravine, and it kind of made a little bit more sense. I didn't really love the location that they chose when Sarah got shot, actually in the HBO version. It just didn't sell as much, and if you play the game, you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, when that poor little girl, she was so innocent and so forth, and we were seeing that too in the actress that played as Sarah in this new adaptation, and she did a really good job. In fact, I don't want to down it, but it just wasn't as good as the game, in my opinion. It brought me to tears. I mean, I was bawling like a baby. It was just so sad because it was so unexpected. Anyways, other than that, like I said, most of the adaptations are looking great, but that's another good point, though. Are they too good, in fact? So is it almost irrelevant for those of us who have played the game? Well, obviously for me, you can tell I'm pretty damn excited, so it's still sticking with me. So I have a feeling that a lot of you are feeling the same way as well. But there might be some of you saying, is this truly necessary? Was this adaptation even needed so many years after the first game? And it's been a long time. So that's a darn good question, guys. I mean, since it is almost not a one-for-one take, but they're doing a lot so close to the game, it's just like, should I be watching this? I've already seen it during the game, but I can tell you, watching it play out, watching those clickers come to life tonight in episode 2 was simply fantastic and amazing. They are so menacing and dangerous, and I think they have a few other adaptations of or not adaptations, but like versions of the monsters that are going to come out later in the season. And if they're anything worse than the clickers, I mean, that was 2 of them, guys. That was just 2 clickers attacking 3 people. They were armed with what, an M16, M4 style, whatever. They had a couple of pistols, strong one. I think one was like a 350. They had ammo. They had things to do to take these, and they still couldn't take them down. That's how bad those things are. And now with the upped ante, with the cordyceps, whatever, the little vine things, and how they can coordinate to each other, this is going to be a wild season. So I am on board. I'm ready to go. I hope you guys will come back out with me to give me some comments. Let me know what you think. And yeah, let's just talk a little bit about it. If you have any questions, I'll share as much as I can without spoiling too much of the future, because I don't want to ruin it for those who haven't played the game. But you got to make choices as Joel throughout the game. It didn't so much change the story, but it kind of changed some certain outcomes, and you get to make a big choice at the very end of the game, and I just can't wait to see what Joel does. I hope he does what I decided to do. We'll talk about it in the weeks to come, but I won't talk about it yet. So I am Mike with the ZMAM Show. Make sure to like and subscribe, please. If you did enjoy this content, go check out my trivia videos, everything you thought you knew about. I grab all the special facts that I think are interesting from IMDb, rapid fire to them with you with scenes from the movie and whatnot. So that's it for me. Episode 2. Absolutely 9 out of 10. It should probably be higher, but I'm gonna keep it there, and let's see if they can keep us going. I think they are. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya.